Hey everybody, my name is David Silverberg, and today we're going to be covering the entire pre-bill process from the moment you create your invoices until you finalize and send them out to a client. To start off, we're going to be on our dashboard here. We're going to see that we have a couple $1,000s worth of billable work we want to generate invoices for. The quickest way to do this is through our batch billing process. We're just going to hit the white new button from anywhere and hit invoice this way. We're going to hit the multiple invoices button. And this is going to run a quick report for us that shows all of our matters that currently have billable amounts ready to be invoiced. Just going to simply check all of these off. Hit the green select options button. Pick our general options that we want applied to all of our invoices. So what date range do we want to pull time entries from? What do we want our issue date to be? What do we want our due date to be? Do we want to email all these right away to the client? Since this is the pre-bill process and we're first generating them to review them, we probably want to keep this as no. What template do you want to use for these invoices? Use the field right here to control that. Do you want to put any kind of discount percent on all of them? Completely up to you. What you want your terms and conditions and your notes to be, and what do you want your payment options to be. Now, because we are doing a initial pre-bill process here, we may not want to apply any retainer money, whether it's operating retainer or trust retainer just yet. So we're going to turn these options to no for right now. We're going to go all the way down, keep unpaid balances turned on in case you want to pull any outstanding invoices onto these new invoices to see what their total balances are for you. And we're going to go down and hit the green button, create 12 invoices on the bottom right. This is going to start a batch bill generation process, which you can use the green button here to continue working in another tab if you have other work you want to go ahead and continue. Once the invoice generation process on the batch end is done like that, it's going to take you and leave you on the invoices page so you can continue working right from here. Now that all of the invoices have been created, we're going to get to the reviewing process. There are two main ways you can go about doing this for your firm. The first way is the more traditional way, where we are going to physically go and check off all the invoices we want to review and use the blue gears here to print them and hand them to our colleagues for them to then scribble on, write their notes on, and hand back to us for changes. Hitting the print button here, it's going to open up or download a PDF file comprised of all of the invoices that you've selected. It's going to give us one PDF file. Once the PDF generates, it'll appear on the bottom left there for you to open up and hit the print button on the top right. And you can go ahead and send these PDFs here to the printer to print. You'll take those PDFs, hand them to your colleagues to review. They'll scribble on them and give them back to you with all the changes that they'd like made. To make those changes, you're just going to open up each invoice using the middle click button on your mouse wheel, or right clicking and opening them in a new tab just by clicking on the edit button there. While you're editing it, if you want to make quick surface level changes, you can literally click into any field and make whatever small change you might want to make. Now, if you make a change just by clicking into it like this, it's not going to change the physical record back on the matter. So what that means is if we make changes to the hours or rate here, it's not going to change the time entry that's saved on the matter. And then maybe our time entry reports won't match well with our invoice reports later down the line. So if they are important changes that you want to make, like to the hours, the rate, or anything like that, instead of clicking into it, just hit the little pencil associated with that line on the left, and that will physically rip open the record for you to change so that as you make changes here, let's say I want to make this 3 hours instead, and I scroll down and I hit save, it's going to save it on this invoice and update the time entry that's saved back on the matter. Whenever I'm done making my changes here, I can scroll all the way down and maybe now decide, okay, now that I know that the invoice is good to go, I can apply my trust money to it and save. And there we go. Our invoice is saved, created, and paid off. Now, let's say we want to be more paperless and we don't want to print out each and every invoice for your colleagues to make changes to. There is another way that they can review the work themselves and give you the notes just by opening the invoice itself like this on their own computer and scrolling down. And anytime they want to make a change to this invoice, they can literally click on the What's New column down here and recommend whatever changes they want. Please change the time for communicate other external from 2 hours to 3 hours and hit enter. And then that note gets saved when they wanted that change to be made, when they make that recommendation gets recorded as well. So you have a very good catalog of all the change requests for every invoice. And then you can simply refer to those notes when knowing what to change about this invoice instead. That's just the way you can go if you want to go the paperless route. Otherwise, you can go ahead and print them out, give them to your colleagues, and make the changes as usual. Now, nothing is considered finalized until we send it to our clients, right? So all we need to do that is open the invoice and hit Actions, and then click Send. Otherwise, if we want to do it for all of our invoices at once, we can go to our Invoices page. We can click on the checkboxes on the left, use the blue gear on the top to send them all at once. In addition to that, we can also pay these invoices in bulk as well, using any available retainer that we find. This is a great tool in case you don't know which matters have available retainer or which ones don't, and you don't want to have to go investigate every single matter to check. We can just check off all the invoices, hit pay invoices, and let the program actually do this batch operation on the back end and find any available retainer and apply them when possible. And just like that, we found that I had a couple of invoices here now are marked paid that weren't marked paid before. And I know that all the available retainers being used, and now I can go ahead and send these invoices out. Then they would be considered finalized, and our clients can see them, make any additional payments that they might need to make, or ask us any questions about anything going on with those invoices. And that's it. Enjoy.